Hi, Jeff here with Corsair. The Obsidian Series 250D is a mini ITX case without compromise. It's small, but it's designed to fit full-size, high-performance hardware. But how can I show off how versatile this case really is? I was pondering this question when it hit me. Why don't I take a great gaming system I already have and show how easy it is to transfer all the components over to the 250D? It'll save space and allow me to get the system up off the floor and on my desk. So that's what we're going to do. Our donor system uses the Vengeance C70. The only thing that we'll need is a new motherboard, and the rest of the hardware from our C70 will fit right in the 250D without issue. The GPU is a GTX770. This GPU is capable of playing all the latest games at high settings. We'll be cooling the CPU with a Corsair Series H60. Proper cooling is essential for high-performance CPUs, particularly if you'd like to overclock. And the H60 provides efficient, low-noise liquid cooling in a self-contained package. We'll be powering the system with a Corsair AX760. It has power to spare for this single GPU system. 0 RPM fan mode means that it will be virtually silent most of the time, and the fully modular cabling makes it a breeze to install. Storage is provided by a Corsair Neutron Series 256GB SSD. If you want a fast and quiet system, a solid-state drive is the way to go. Neutron Series drives provide both high IOPS and super fast sequential read speeds, so this drive is going to be very fast no matter what kind of games or applications we'll be running. We're using 16GB of Vengeance Pro Series memory. Vengeance Pro Series is designed for overclocking, with carefully designed heat spreaders and ICs that are specifically screened for overhead. And last but not least, we'll be using an H87I-PLUS motherboard from ASUS. It's got an 1150 socket, so our i5 will transfer over easily. First, we'll remove the top panel, then the side panels. Each panel is held in place with 2 thumb screws. I decided to remove the optical drive tray so that I have more room to work with. Before we install the motherboard, make sure to install the rear I/O shield that came with it. It may take a little bit of force to get it in there just right. Now we'll attach the backplate for the CPU cooler. Once the backplate is in position, secure it with the standoffs. Now just slide the motherboard into position, lining it up with the rear I/O shield, and screw it down into place. Now before it gets too crowded in there, we'll plug in our front I/O panel switches. Now we'll plug in the front USB 3.0 header. And finally, our HD audio. The 250D has a power supply bracket that you can remove to make it much easier to install your power supply. Just attach the bracket to the back of your power supply, and then slide it back into place, securing it with the thumb screws. Now I'm going to install the H60 Hydra Series cooler. There's a couple different ways you could install it, but I've decided to install it on the side of the case, and I've set up the fan as an intake so that it blows cool air through the radiator into the case. Now we're going to move the CPU into the new motherboard. Since we're reusing the same cooler, you want to make sure that you wipe off all the existing thermal interface material from the CPU surface and from the cooling block surface. We're going to need to reapply the thermal material for this new installation. Now we'll get the H60 block lined up over the standoffs that we've already installed and secure the block with the thumb screws. The drive cage is located in the rear. Just remove this panel and you have access to 4 tool-free drive trays, 2 2.5 inch and 2 3.5 inch. Before I go any further, I'll install the modular power cables to all the components that have already been installed. Now I'm going to get the SATA power and data cable connected to our SSD. This is the one part which is a little bit of a tight fit, but still not too bad. Now we just have a couple of fans and cables to plug in, and we're just left with our GPU and memory to install. Memory installation is pretty straightforward. Just make sure it's aligned correctly, and then snap it right into place. To install the GPU, first remove the two locking PCI Express thumb screws in the rear. Next, align the card with the PCIe slot and push it into place. Now, reattach the two thumb screws to secure the card. Don't forget to plug in any required PCI Express power cables to your graphics card. If you plan on installing an optical drive, make sure to reinstall the optical drive tray. So installation is complete. We now have a compact, high-performance gaming system that can sit right on the top of your desk. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, here's how to reach us.